Which is better, the United States Marine Corps or the British Royal Marines Commandos? Today, we're going to be looking at 12 weeks of the United States Marine Corps recruit training. I'm going to be talking about it. We're going to be unfolding it, looking at it, seeing what's going on, comparing it to my training in the British Royal Marines Commandos, and yeah, going from there and just seeing what it's all about. This is by Air Source Military. As always, I will leave a link down below to the original video. Please go over there, give it some love and all that good stuff. Very important that you do that. Before we get started though, check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. These things are fantastic. Look at this. I just feel like amazing when I hold it. Like I feel good holding this thing. You can get free customization. They've got the Morale logo there for me. Nice waterproof handle, insulated mug using sustainable materials. Tacks on the bottom to keep your mug protected, keeps your beverage cold for a long time. Handmade here in Britain by a small business, and 10% off if you click the link down below. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling very like floaty and fun. I went on a man's retreat the weekend just gone. Did a lot of work, had a lot of fun, played some games, jumped in lakes, did saunas. Lots of really fun experiences, ate some good food, had some good laughs. And so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Also, as always, if you want to boost your morale, check out Morale's socials. Link down below to all the socials. Anyway, let's check out some US Marine Corps training and answer that age-old question that everybody wants to know on the internet. What's better, US Marines or Royal Marines? I'll give you a spoiler alert. It doesn't really fucking matter, does it? It doesn't really matter. Let's have a look.
You're around MCR, this scenario building 622, receiving company, you understand? Yes, sir! From now on, the only words come out your mouth will be yes, sir, no, sir, yes, sir, do you understand? Yes, sir! Tens of thousands of Marines have begun their outstanding service.
So we've seen this thing before where they have the footsteps, and I find this very interesting because this is when as soon as you get there, it's very much like out the gate, very organized, and it's organized and quite fast paced when you get to Royal Marine Commando training at Lympston, but because there's less people going through training, like there's less individuals, it's a bit more like they're able to be a bit more flexible. Whereas with the US Marine Corps, there's so many people signing up all the time. Like there's literally so many people. They have to be more of a machine in training. And I'm not saying that's worse or better or anything. I'm just saying that they have to adapt to the situation of more people signing up. And so they go through these processes of making it more of like a belt-fed machine with these people going through, unlike the Royal Marines training.
You will carry out that proud tradition to your staff. Yes, sir!
Is that an emo? Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. Where is he? There he is. Wow. My Chemical Romance. Look at the twinkle in his eyes. He's like, what am I doing? What have I signed up for? Look at the twinkle in his eyes, staring in the distance. Oh no. What have I done? What am I doing?
You're just taking your first steps in becoming members of the world's finest fighting force.
All right, world's finest fighting force. Come on. Come on. We've got the Royal Marines out here. World's finest fighting. I can't wait to see the comments on this video. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. Do you know what? No matter how much I say to people on these videos that only military members understand that the shit I give US Marines comes from a place of genuine love and like brotherhood and companionship and knowing that we're just friends. Like we're the US Marines and the Royal Marines are like best friends. Do you know what I mean? And it's the people, you'll see it. And I want to just do this, right? Go and have a look in the comments because there's still them people. There's still the people that jump in that get, the ego gets hurt. And they're like, how dare he? we would destroy the UK. And it's hilarious to see, because I know that me and other military members, whether they're from here in the UK or in America or anywhere around the world, look at them comments and they're just like, this guy doesn't get it. This guy doesn't get it. Only military members kind of understand this shit, you know? Like, you just give each other shit and it's what you've got to do. It's like part of training. If you don't start giving other people shit who are in the military, then you get kicked out.
United States Marine Corps.
Let's have a look. Week 2.
These recruits are entrusted to my care. These recruits are entrusted to my care. I will train them to the best of my ability. I will train them to the best of my ability. I will develop them into. I will develop them into. Smartly disciplined. Smartly disciplined. Physically fit. Physically fit. Basically trained Marines. Basically trained Marines. Thoroughly indoctrinated. Thoroughly indoctrinated. In love of foreign country. In love of foreign.
This is my brush. There is no other brush like it. This one is mine. This brush is clean. This brush can brush. Look at them showing off the brushes. This is the standard of the US Marines.
I will demand of them. I will demand of them. And demonstrate by my own example. And demonstrate by my own example. Highest standards. Highest standards. Personal conduct. Personal conduct. Morality. Morality. And professional skill. Professional skill. Take charge of these men and make them Marines. Aye, aye, sir.
Yeah, aye, sir. Let's go. Week 3. So it looked like there was a lot of kit being issued in that one, didn't it? Looked like a lot of basic stuff. I mean, they're 2 weeks in, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be doing anything fancy, are they? It's, there's this kind of moment at the beginning of training. It's called Foundation in the Royal Marines, and it kind of lasts, well, Foundation lasts 2 weeks in the Royal Marines, but this kind of first part of training, I would say lasts anywhere between 9 to 15 weeks, where they're just trying to weed out all the people that just, they're not really supposed to be there. That, you know, they don't really need to be there, and it's not their time yet. Doesn't mean that they're not good at what they can do or they're not fit. It's just that it's not their time, you know. There's that like little bit of a moment at the start to get to the people who it's their time to join, you know.
Training. So this week we covered McNabb. We also did the Bane and the Star Force. And we get the recruits ready for transition.
Go on, lad. Go on, lad. Go on, lad.
More demanding with the height and running.
Go on. Oh, he was struggling there, wasn't he? Go on, lad. Pull up. Pull. Christ almighty. I almost hang there like a wet sock. Week 3, it seemed like it was a lot of physical there, didn't it? It seemed like they're getting a bit of a run through with the assault course. It didn't seem like they were going ham on it. Like, it didn't seem they were really 100% effort. Maybe it was more of a tutorial with a few bits here and there. But again, 3 weeks in, man, they're fresh out the box, aren't they? Week 4. Go on, lad. So right now they're just practicing the dance moves for when they go on a night out in the local town. This is vitally important because what happens is you all need to get on the dance floor as a body of men and execute these moves accordingly so that you can show the civilians, look, I am a US Marine and I've got the moves.
So right now, we're doing the combat fitness test.
Oh, okay. So week 4, they're doing the combat fitness test. My presumption is they've kind of been doing base level fitness at this point, right? They've kind of got this foundation of fitness, 4 weeks in. There's not too much you can do and develop in 4 weeks, but, you know, at this point, they should be kind of having a good standard of fitness. And obviously, they would have had a good standard of fitness before they even went in. But this will be a big indicator. And I'm wondering if someone fails this, what happens? Do they go back? Do they fail? Do they get kicked out? Do they go back a couple of weeks? Like, I'm wondering what happens here.
Yes, sir. Ready, go.
Yeah, measuring their strength, see how they're performing on that.
Get up. Run. Crawl.
That's a good crawl.
For the recruits to
Go on,
experience
lads.
because this is their first time in recruit training. This is the first time they're learning about the Marines, and for us to throw this on them and have them train like this, it gets in their mindset that this is, it's not just about them anymore. It's not me,
I do have to say, when it comes to the uniform, the U.S. Marines certainly have a certain look. Sorry, I think I've got allergies, which is weird. They have a certain look to their uniform, the way that they dress themselves. And the Royal Marines do the same thing. We roll up our sleeves, we tuck our shirt in. I do think shirt down when it comes to fizz is fine, but I do think that shirt tucked in with a big belt like we have quite a heavy duty belt on. I'm presuming they have a belt underneath there, but if you've got your shirt tucked in my opinion, when it comes to these activities of fizz where you're carrying and pulling and moving and you're kind of throwing each other's bodies around in this area to kind of practice for combat experience, I think having your shirt tucked in and being able to grab hold of a belt, like a heavy duty belt, to be able to shift someone's body and be able to get them out of a zone, I think that's like a really important thing. With that being said, like, obviously, I don't know what their uniform look like. Do they have a belt underneath? Can you grab that? Like, are you able to get a hand on that belt and be able to pull someone if you need to? Obviously, it also looks like they're doing very specific techniques for pulling people. In combat, them specific techniques are great and all, but the truth is you're just going to grab someone and move them. That's the truth if you're in a combat environment. And so, in my opinion, tucked in shirt with a big belt, I kind of think that's... I don't know. I haven't done it like this, so who knows? But I also like with dirt and stuff getting up in your shirt and your shirt pulling up and moving, like having it tucked in, it's stowed away, isn't it? So I'm personally more shirt tucked in rather than untucked shirt like what these have. But again, we're talking like unnecessaries, aren't we? We're talking like this is their tradition of their uniform, and I'm sure they're able to adapt because of their own traditions.
It's us. It's about Marines, brotherhood. We also have the senior drill instructor inspection. Basically, we get to see their attention to detail as far as our uniforms, as far as their cleanliness of weapons, and just the knowledge that we've instilled in them since the moment they picked up on us in Fox Company.
Every Marine is a rifleman, but also Marines are amphibians.
All right, so we're getting in the oggin. We're getting in the water at this point. As you know, the Royal Marines do quite a lot of stuff in the water. So our water-based activities are quite fun, actually. I actually quite enjoyed the water activities in the Royal Marines. So this will be interesting. This is quite an interesting part.
5-minute swim.
25-minute swim.
4-minute float. The drop from the tower.
Yeah.
To turn you, overcome your fear of heights. But also initial PFT. Test your...
Yeah, so basic swimming stuff. Nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? You're floating for 4 minutes. You're doing some swimming here and there. Usually in uniform, so you can get what it's like to not have full range of motion because you've got a uniform on. Basic swimming stuff. And again, they're only, 4 or 5 weeks in? Like, they're not even really touching the surface yet, are they? Some more strength training here, pull-ups and stuff. Highly important for any military member, I think. Whether you're US Marine, Royal Marine, Army, Navy, pull-ups, I think, are integral because it is an ability to move your body in a position that needs to be moved. And not many people can do it. It's a harder exercise. It's much harder than press-ups and sit-ups, but it's a vital maneuver.
Strength as well as pull-ups, crunches, and 3-mile run.
3-mile run. Easy.
Pack up pretty much the house and we move up to Camp Pelton, which moves into the second phase, which is rifle marksmanship.
So what is this, week 5, week 6? Week 6. So week 6, they're getting into riflery. Like, they're getting into stripping the rifles, I'm sure, and they're going to get on the range. Riflery? What's the word I'm looking for?
So for grass week, we have the recruits for 5 days, and they get taught about the basic fundamentals of marksmanship.
Yes.
You guys have never even held a weapon or anything, so it's all the way from how they handle that weapon in a safe manner to placing well-aimed shots in the center of a target up to 500 yards. So fire position, so there's the prone, sitting, kneeling, and standing.
So what's really good here is they're doing what we did in the Royal Marines, where before you even get on a range, like before you're even getting live rounds, you're going through the motions of learning about the principles of marksmanship and fire positions and how to get in the best fire positions, how to control your breathing, also the weapon, right? Stripping the weapon, cleaning the weapon, maintaining the weapon, all these procedures when handing a weapon to each other. They're going to be learning all this stuff before they even get on the range. It's the same as what we do in the Royal Marines.
And then we teach them every variation.
But we have a better rifle. We have the SA-80.
We find what variation works for them, and then we take that, we practice it for that week so they can go downrange and apply it. So it's indoor simulated marksmanship training. They use that to simulate shooting downrange, and it gives the recruits an idea of sort of what to expect.
This is really cool. This is obviously using technology to kind of mediate between a transition of practicing and live range, right? There's this kind of like big leap that they do, which any military has done, where you can only practice for so long dry drills, and then you kind of got to get on the range. And for some people, that can be a big jump. Not for many people. It's just, you know, you're kind of excited to do. I was very excited to just get on the range and get the rounds down. But this is a nice happy medium. In fact, when I was in the Royal Marines, we did this. We did this briefly. There was this kind of like video game that you would go on. You get your SA-80 and you're able to practice and stuff. But we always saw it as a bit of a way to just get some more practice in and not necessarily having to expend, get rid of live rounds and use live rounds. But at the same time, in my opinion, nothing's ever better than just getting on the range, right? Nothing will be better than feeling that recoil, understanding how to stay in that position after you've shot around. But hey, technology is only going to get better in it, so it's going to be more similar.
The recruits were in grass week with a 5-mile hike.
Oh, 5-mile hike. The big 5-miler. Week 7, let's go. Week 7.
This week is our Table 1 relay for the recruits. Many of the recruits, this is their first time ever actually firing a live round. They're taking everything that they did last week, learning how to aim, the proper shot placement, proper stances, proper positions and holds, and they're actually applying that to live rounds this week.
It's interesting saying this is the first time they've shot live rounds, and it doesn't look like they're starting with iron sights. I don't know if that's some sort of what that was. It was not a SUSAT or something, or an ACOG, whatever, maybe. But we started with iron sights. Like, you have to start with the very basic. Start with iron sights, because at the end of the day, if shit hits the fan, you can always go back to basics with an iron sight, can't you? If the glass cracks or whatever could happen, there's always variables of what could happen with a scope. If you go back to basics with an iron sight all the time, I think that's incredibly valuable. I think a lot of military members who are maybe veterans will agree with me with this, because it seems like that practice of using iron sights is kind of getting weeded out as time goes on, because these scopes are getting a bit more durable, a bit more, reliable. But again, I'm a big believer that if you can do the basics, then you're going to be able to do the more elaborate stuff even better. Maybe they do that. Maybe they just do it in a different format. Like we're getting a very short clip on what is an extensive bit of training, aren't we?
Multiple days before they actually qualify. Every recruit will have a coach standing over them that is willing to help them out and turn them into the marksmen that we need them to be as Marines. The goal of every Marine is to become a rifleman.
Yep.
Proficient with their weapon, and that's what we're doing here. Is before they leave out of here, they will be a rifleman first and foremost.
Yeah. Nice. Bobby Basics, right? It's week 8. We're still early. We're still fresh out the box.
So this week, Fox Company had field week. Started the week off, Table 2 shooting, which is that close quarter combat shooting. We worked on all those drills that Peter Mike taught. Those tactical reloads, speed reloads, control pairs to the chest, stop drills. They were put in that combat mindset, and they went out there and they accomplished their mission they were assigned to do.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just refining them skills, aren't they? Which is obviously what they need to do. It makes me wonder, 12-week US Marine training, I'm presuming they specialize after that? In the Royal Marines, you do 32 weeks of training, and then you're a Royal Marine. You are a General Duties Royal Marine for sometimes it's less, but it's usually around 2 years, and then you'll go and you'll specialize. So you could go on operations just as general duties, and you can be a Royal Marine, and then you'll specialize into signals or mortars or mountain leader or all these different stuff, a driver, medic, chef. Like you can specialize, but you've got to do Royal Marine. You got to be a Royal Marine general duties for 2 years. Or at least that's the usual stuff. So I'm wondering how that works. 12 weeks of training and then they because I'm pretty sure they specialize quite quickly in the US Marines. I don't think they are just US Marines and do the work and then do it later on like the Royal Marines do. But I think there's a unique pro and con to both of these things. I think both of these situations work quite well for the scenarios. I mean, the US Marines obviously make some of the best soldiers in the world. And so whatever they're doing is obviously working.
Downrange area is clear.
Then they went to the field for their basic warrior training. They went out there and they did an assault course where they practiced low-light drills with flares in the air, combat gliding, and how to properly overcome obstacles in the combat territory with a combat mindset. Then they started learning land navigation, how to read a map.
Oh, here we go. This is the good stuff. I just muted it by accident. This is the good stuff. This is my bread and butter. I love this stuff. Map reading, getting out in the field, like having the experience of being able to look at the land and be able to adapt to the land and be part of it so that when you're in combat, you can use the land to your advantage. I think it's so important. I think it's more important than a lot of other things, to be honest with you. And learning how to read a map correctly is, in my opinion, vital. Like you need to be able to pick up a map and be moving in a direction within seconds. Getting that ingrained into people is so important. And also being able to adapt so you don't have a compass, your environment, what can you do in your environment to understand which direction you're going in? Is are the stars out? Is that going to help you? Is it the terrain? Is that going to help you? Have you got land markers? Can that help you? I love that stuff. That's my bread and butter. I absolutely love it. In fact, I'm actually teaching my 6-year-old son how to navigate with a map right now. Or on and off I am. And he loves that stuff as well, bless him.
They started learning land navigation, how to read a map, how to plot points on a map, and how to find those points they plotted.
Yeah.
They worked on it during the day and at night.
Yes. I like that. That's great. Putting in the work. Week 9.
Team week is first week of third phase. This is a week where we start really transitioning and giving the recruits the responsibilities of taking care of each other, doing the right thing when nobody's watching. They go to different agencies and they just help out, breaking boxes down, cleaning up, stocking shelves, whatever needs to get done around the depot.
Yeah, they're putting in the graph. They're working as a team. They're learning about each other, I'm sure, and they're learning about how to be hard workers. This is basic stuff, but you'd be surprised how many people haven't done this type of stuff, just done a day's work, day's hard work. So it's nice that they're actually getting to this point, and they have to understand that it's not all explosions and shooting down range. There are downtime. There's admin that's got to be done. Things have got to be maintained. Places have got to be looked after. It's important that they do that in training. That's actually really good.
Also this week we had an interior guard showing the recruits the purpose of standing duty in a more real-life situation. The drill instructors also do scenarios. For example, if somebody comes out the area of operation and the recruits get challenged with tasks like that.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
The commander's inspection is an inspection done by the series commander, and what he's...
1 second.
Commander's inspection is...
Just having a look at them boots. The boots they get in training these days are so good. The boots I had were just horrendous.
Inspection done by the series commander, and what he's looking for basically is for them to be able to articulate themselves, talk with confidence, demonstrate bearing. It's preparation for company commander's inspection and the battalion commander's inspection.
Nice. It looks like they're getting into a bit more of the complex stuff, scenarios, events that could happen, and how they unfold, and being able to work under that pressure and adapt to certain scenarios. Looking like these last few weeks here, they're really kind of diving deep into that, while also maintaining, you're still a soldier, look after your weapon, you got an inspection. I like it.
This week, Fox Company did the inventory PFT, measures the fitness of the recruits since they've been here at recruit training. It's about their middle point, measure their pull-ups, crunches, their run time, see how much improvement they made. Did the bayonet assault course, where they go through, they can put put their McMap techniques that they learned to the test in a real life scenario. Final Bugle 6 and the Thunderdome, where they'll be doing the final CFT. The CFT is a combat fitness test. They measure the amount of times they're able to lift a 30-pound ammo can.
Yeah.
They do a obstacle course that consists of carrying ammo cans, zigzagging through obstacles, low crawling, high crawling, sprinting,
Yeah.
and doing a fireman's carry.
Yep.
They also do a 880-meter sprint around the track.
Okay. A lot of fitness there, a lot of fizz in the bag. Basic stuff again.
So this week we actually had our final drill.
Drill. Love me some drill. I hate drill.
Shows them a lot of pride and discipline. And a lot of things that the drill sergeants actually worked hard for.
I do want to also preface this video is showing the very top level surface level stuff. Service level stuff. Like there's so much more stuff that I'm sure goes on, whether it's discipline and more fizz in the bag and all this other stuff, you know, like they're showing the bare minimum here in this video.
And the final PFT
Go on, lads.
fitness test, where recruits are evaluated on pull-ups, crunches, and a run time. The next thing that we're going to be doing this week is the rappel tower.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
The rappel tower for the recruits is the opportunity for them to get their last little bit of courage out and show the drill instructors that they actually want to be United States Marines. Nice.
Yeah, basic stuff right there. We did that on the side of a cliff, which was really good. We did this thing where you would fast rope down, and then they did this test at the. So we do it with our Bergen strapped to the back of us, and it's quite daunting. And they did this thing where we strapped it to the front. We turned the harness around and we put it on backwards, and we went down the cliff facing forward. So you'd like level yourself off facing down the cliff, and then you'd run down the cliff. Yeah, that was something else.
The chamber is filled with CS gas,
Yep.
a non-lethal tear gas, and riot control agent.
You take it off, you take a deep breath, it just fills every orifice in your body, and you're just like, "Ugh," and then you're like, Corporal IM 300659446 Marine Drillings, permission to leave the chamber.
And test recruits' knowledge on properly employing equipment used during biological and chemical attacks. The remainder of Week 12 is spent undergoing the most defining moment of recruit training, the Crucible.
The Crucible!
Is the culminating event of recruit training process. It is a 54-hour field training exercise executed with only 3 meals and 4 hours of sleep per night.
Yeah.
Designed to emphasize the importance of teamwork and overcoming adversity. The Crucible culminates with a formal presentation of the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor.
Yeah.
Officially marks the transition from recruit to Marine.
Interesting. Okay, so I do have a few questions. 1 second. How long is US training? Because so it's 13 weeks of training. But then do they go off and do something else after it? Most enlisted individuals entering the Marine Corps, regardless of actual active or reserve duty status, will undergo recruit training at one of the 2 Marine Corps recruit depots. All recruits from the 1st, 4th, 6th recruiting districts, blah, 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 blah. It just makes me wonder, what do they do after? Because what I'm trying to say is, obviously with the Royal Marines Commandos, and I truly believe this after watching so much footage, I truly believe that the Royal Marines Commandos training is the hardest basic military training in the world. And let me reframe that, the hardest basic military training in the world. So you're comparing it to the US Marine basic training, which would be that. So obviously 12 weeks compared to 32 weeks and the ending in the 30 miler and stuff like that. I do think that the basic training's harder in the Royal Marines. However, I do think that what they're doing is effective, because I'm pretty sure after this, they go off to specialize. And so, yeah, you could be like, they're doing basic and then they're going to go be a chef, right? And yeah, maybe that training to get all that complete is not as hard as a Royal Marines training. But if they go off and do something quite, you know, quite big, like if they're doing some sort of equivalent to a mountain leader thing or a sniper training or, you know, like all of a sudden, that training from just basic to the extra stuff on top, the specialization, could be competing with the Royal Marines Commandos training. Does that make sense? Let's have a look here. But yeah, it says it's 13 weeks. And then continued education. Let's have a look. After rigorous recruit training, these new Marines will receive 10 days of leave, possibly more if they are assisting their local Marine recruiter with recruiting. The leave is a time. I don't care about leave. They're expected to conduct themselves during the leave, discipline a Marine, blah, 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 blah. After the leave has expired, Marines will attend the School of Infantry. This is what we're talking about. East Coast graduates will attend SOI East at Camp Griega, while West Coast, blah, 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 blah. Non-infantry Marines will attend a course called Marine Combat Training for 29 days. So non-infantry Marines. Interesting. Infantry Marines will attend Infantry Training Battalion for 59 days. How many weeks is in 59 days? How many weeks is in 59 days, guys? How many weeks in 59 days? Like 8 point something. So you're looking at a total of like, what? So 12 to 13 weeks basic. Let's say 9 weeks. It's a bit less than that, 9 weeks. So you're talking like 20 odd weeks of training in total. But let me click. I'm looking. Let me pull this up where I'm looking. I'm looking on here. Infantry Training Battalion. 59 day. Turns a new Marine into an infantryman who can fight, survive, and win in a combat situation. The first 2 weeks are a common skill package that all infantry MOS share, where Marines receive instruction on combat marksmanship, use of grenades, identifying, countering improvised explosive devices, convoy operations, military unit in urban terrain. So we're probably talking about some CQB there and stuff. Tactical formations, land navigation, patrolling. Afterwards, Marines receive instructions specific to their infantry MOS, Ricardo machine guns, mortars. So they're really honing down. Starting January 2021, the Infantry Training Battalion underwent a restructure of its 59-day training cycle, informally called the Basic Infantry Marine, to the current 14-week Infantry Marine course. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think that there's obviously a pro and con to doing both, right? All Royal Marines have to do Royal Marines training. It's 32 weeks. It ends with a commando test. You're doing your 9-mile speed march, the Tarzan Assault course, the Endurance course, ending with a 30-mile speed march across Dartmoor. It's horrendous. You've got final exercises that go out and you're out for multiple weeks, and you're really hanging out your hoop, getting through that stuff. Like, it's hard. And you can't really be like, US Marines, Royal Marines, what's better? You really can't, because it's structured differently. Firstly, the US Marines run like a machine. There's more people going through it compared to the Royal Marines, so you can really get down into the individual of the Royal Marines. The US Marines, they specialize straight away. You're either an infantryman or you're going to go specialize in something else. So it splits that up. It splits that up pretty quickly. So yes, you've got the 12-week basic, but then you're going off and you're doing either the infantry training stuff or whatever. Whereas the Royal Marines, you're not. You're kind of doing it all in one go, and then you'll specialize a couple of years down the line if you want. So you can't really compare the two, can you? What we can say, because I've worked with US Marines, right? And I bet there's a lot of former US Marines who are watching this who have worked with Royal Marines, is we all love each other, and the US Marines and the Royal Marines are fucking good soldiers. And whatever the training is, it seems to be working for both units, doesn't it? And so if you ever see a video, maybe this one's a little clickbait with the title saying versus or whatever, or who's better. The truth is that there's not a one-size-fits-all, and you can't really compare the two. The only thing you can compare is the fact that they both got Marine in the name. That's really it. I think both trainings are obviously incredibly effective, and I love my US Marine brothers a lot, and a lot of US Marines will probably say the same about the Royal Marines, and that's something really special that people outside of this Marine sphere won't understand, and that's okay. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm sure the comments are going to be very interested on this video. I can't wait to see that. I'll leave a link to the original video. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. And also check out Morale if you want to boost your morale. The cans are coming soon. The cans are being made soon. Very, very exciting. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.